with a little black dog called Arthur. Their owner, Mrs. Flutterfly, loved them both very much. Mabel and Arthur played together every day. "Let's run in the field," Arthur would say. So they did. "Let's chase a paper bag," Mabel would cry. So they did. "Let's knock over a dustbin and sniff everything," Arthur would shout. So they did. Then, one day, Mabel invented a new game. "All you have to do is to lie on your back in a muddy place and wriggle and squirm with your paws in the air," she explained. Arthur barked. "This is the best game ever." Soon it was time for Mabel and Arthur to go home. Mrs. Flutterfly opened the door, and as soon as she saw Mabel, she shrieked, "Mabel, you're filthy! You bad dog! Into the bath with you right away!" Mrs. Flutterfly scrubbed and scrubbed the little dog, who hated having baths. Afterwards, when Mabel was lovely and white again, she said to Arthur, "Why wasn't Mrs. Flutterfly cross with you? You're just as dirty as I was." "That's easy," said Arthur. "You've got a white coat, so the mud showed up on it. I've got a black coat, so Mrs. Flutterfly can't see how dirty I am." Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Rosie. She had long golden hair with a big red ribbon in it. She lived in a village right next to a mountain. Now on the mountain, there lived a hairy, scary monster. The villagers would often hear him roar. One morning, Rosie found that her big red ribbon had gone, and there were great big monster footprints leading out of the village. "That hairy, scary monster has taken my hair ribbon." The villagers all shouted, "You don't want to go near that hairy, scary monster! He'll roar at you!" But Rosie bravely set off. At last, she came to a cave. And there was the hairy, scary monster. "You're wearing my big red ribbon!"
"Oh, I'm sorry. I really needed it. You see, I am so hairy that I couldn't see where I was going. That made me cross, and when I'm cross, I roar. Then people think I'm scary. I don't want to be hairy or scary."
I'm going to make sure you're not hairy or scary anymore. So she gave the monster a very smart